Hello, everyone. Today we're going to take you back in time and tell you a true story of espionage. This story is based on an incredible event in the space race between the United States and the Soviet Union in the late 1950s and early 1960s. Are you ready? Let's get started. The late 1950s and early 1960s were marked by a fierce space race between the United States and the Soviet Union. President John F. Kennedy's goal of putting a man on the moon spurred NASA to work with great determination. These two superpowers were in a fierce competition to show the world their technological and military might. The space race symbolized not only technological superiority, but also ideological superiority. This tense competition between the United States and the Soviet Union was part of the period known as the Cold War. It was characterized by both countries' efforts to prove to the world the superiority of their political and economic systems. Therefore, any success in space was seen not only as a technological victory, but also as a propaganda victory. This escalation of the space race led both countries to invest heavily in their space programs. The Soviet Union aimed to crash a lander on the moon and at the same time leave metal plates bearing the USSR's coat of arms on the lunar surface. On September 13, 1959, the Soviets achieved this goal with Luna 2. This marked a major achievement for the Soviet Union in space, and the United States was closely following this development. However, what really caught the CIA's attention was the technology and techniques that the Soviets were sending to the moon. The success of Luna 2 showed how far the Soviet Union had come in space technology. It also gave the Soviets prestige around the world. The United States made a great effort to understand this technology and develop its own space program. This is where the CIA stepped in and developed a bold plan to take a closer look at the Soviet Union's space technology. In 1959, the CIA organized a covert operation to study the technology the Soviet Union had sent to the moon. A CIA team secretly gained access to the Lunik 2 exhibit at a Soviet exhibition. The team dismantled the exhibit overnight and documented in detail the techniques used by the Soviets. This was one of the CIA's most daring covert operations during the Cold War. The purpose of this covert operation was to understand the technology the Soviets had sent to the moon and how it worked. The CIA team set out to gain a better understanding of the Soviet Union's space program and the information needed to develop their own space program. The operation was an important example of the CIA's capabilities and courage during the Cold War. Planning for the operation began months in advance. When the CIA learned of Soviet plans to display Lunik 2 around the world, it decided to seize the opportunity. After gathering information on where and when the exhibition would take place, the details of the operation were meticulously planned. Team members were trained to infiltrate the exhibition, disassemble, photograph, and reassemble Lunik 2. The CIA's operation to dismantle and inspect Lunik 2 was a major step forward in understanding Soviet space technology. For 24 hours, CIA operatives spent uninterrupted time examining the exhibit, photographing and reassembling every part of the vehicle. In this way, they learned about the design and capabilities of the technology the Soviets sent to the moon. This extraordinary night operation is detailed in the CIA's electronic reading room. A group of CIA officers had unrestricted access to the exhibit for 24 hours, the equivalent of Lunik 2, a fully functional system rather than a replica. The officers disassembled the vehicle, photographed, and reassembled each part. Every stage of the operation was meticulously planned. The CIA team sneaked into the exhibition space and spent the night disassembling and inspecting Lunik 2. Carefully photographing every part of the vehicle, the team reassembled everything before morning and restored the exhibit without a trace. This operation allowed the CIA to learn more about the Soviet Union's space technology and made a significant contribution to the U.S. space program. This covert operation was detailed and made public years later by the CIA. This operation, entitled The Abduction of Lunik, was written by Sidney W. Wes Feiner in the CIA's Studies in Intelligence magazine in the winter of 1967. This document was declassified and made public in 1995. Space historian Dwayne Day was the first to publish this story in the mid-1990s. Day stated that he found the document in paper form in the National Archives and that it became available online years later. More recently, in June 2020, John Greenwald published an uncensored version of the document, obtained through the Freedom of Information Act, FOIA. This document further details this extraordinary CIA operation to study Soviet space technology. The CIA's Lunik operation also contains many funny memories. According to the document, reassembling the vehicle was a difficult and time-consuming task. Officers spent hours reassembling the nose and engine sections of the vehicle and were greatly relieved when they finally succeeded. The document reads as follows: "The first job was to put the orb back in place, and this was the most difficult and time-consuming part of the all-night work." Working in a wedged position in the nose section of the vehicle, the officers tried to get the orb into the correct position and eventually succeeded. Some of the funny and challenging moments during this operation illustrate the challenges the team faced and how they overcame them. The difficulties in reassembling the nose and engine sections of the vehicle were overcome thanks to the patience and skill of the team. These memories reveal how complex and challenging the operation was. All in all, this covert operation of the CIA has been recorded as a great example of cooperation between covert operations and overt information gathering. This story really sounds like something out of a movie script, doesn't it? Do you think such covert operations could still be going on today? Share your thoughts in the comments. This concludes our story for today. If you want to see more of such exciting and interesting stories, don't forget to subscribe to our channel. Also, if you like this video, don't forget to hit the like button and share it with your friends. See you in the next video. Bye!